So I'm working on getting this cart up in my truck nice and easy once I get it loaded up with tools and generators and things. So I got this 2,000-pound winch at Harbor Freight for like 50 bucks. It's on sale. I'm working on just mounting it to the back of my truck. And as you can see, it is a pain. See, I got my wrench and my vice grips here. I really should have a plate or something back behind there that kind of help distribute the load. Okay, so I got the first bolt started just loosely. That way it'll help me so I can hold this one a little more hands-free so I can get my bolt, washer, lock washer all on here. I'm gonna get that in, go ahead and tighten up the top one, and I'll take this one back off, get my washer and lock washer on there, tighten them both up. All right, it's mounted up. Again, I'm not pulling anything heavy here. If I was, I'd recommend you cut this, if you have a bed liner, cut that off so you're flat up against the steel. This is still pretty solid, but I would do that, and I would also put a base plate or something back behind there, just so you have a little more pulling strength. It's not going to deflect as much, but for just this cart here, this will work just fine. Then to look at my contraption here that I used to get in between here onto my bolts, was not easy. So these are just old jumper cables that I had, and I ran from the alternator to here, and then this ground is just going down to the frame. So I used to have a camper set up. I built a camper in the back of here, and I had a diesel heater. So that's what this was originally for. And then last summer I was doing house washing, pressure washing and stuff, and I had a whole electric 12-volt soft wash system. So I had a battery set up here that I would run all that off, and I could use this to kind of charge it if I needed to. So these are already here, and I'm just gonna run it straight to my winch, and it should be good to go. There is a capacitor right here I'm gonna have to put in between, but other than that, we got that and our winch controller. Also, this is fused. I would definitely make sure it's fused on a switch, something. Okay, well, like I said, this was a pretty cheap set of jumper cables, and I just kept having to cut farther and further back because this is pretty full of corrosion here. So hopefully I still have some continuity in them. Okay, so I have this temporarily hooked up. I'm gonna put my fuse back in the positive wire coming off my battery on the truck and see if this works at all. All right, fuse is in. So this should be out. Oh yeah. To be honest, I wasn't expecting it to work. All right, well, this is almost guaranteed to start corroding at some point anyway, since it's sitting outside, but to try and help, I'm gonna take some dielectric grease, kind of put it on all the posts and terminals here, and then wrap them up. These have these covers that it comes with, so put that on, and I'll put some tape over this. All right, moment of truth. One thing I am gonna do is I'm gonna get a hitch pin to replace this bolt. I have one, it's just too small, so I gotta go get a different size, but this, I can pull it up myself now, but it's not loaded up. But once I have a generator and stuff, it's gonna be a lot heavier. This doesn't give me a ton of room. That's about as far out as I can go, so we'll see. That didn't work. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that hinge pin. Pull it out, turn it. So we're sitting there. I can pull this out. Okay, handle's off. So it's just a bolt. This will be just like having that pin on there. Okay, we're hooked onto our bolt. So, in. Pretty noisy. Turn it on there. Well, that's not supposed to do that. Yeah. Guide that. Kind of steering it. Oh, okay. Didn't think about that. But I mean, yeah, I got some kinks to work out, but it works. Alright, so I got it winched up about that far. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a strap, pulling it backwards, get that tight, and then I'll just cinch it up with the winch, and it shouldn't go nowhere. Alright, got a strap on the back. Yeah, I'm just pulling the bedside in, so I'll leave it there. So before I get all the They're so stupid. Why would you do that? I would have done it this way. I know this is horrible and probably shouldn't do it, but it's just temporary. It's gonna help me out for now, and it works. So got her all strapped down, winched up, ready to go.